Danielle Smith from 770 CHQR joining us this morning to continue this conversation. Danielle, town halls, a pre-election campaign-style swing, reaction, probably not everything Justin Trudeau is hoping for. How do you think the next several of these unfolds for him?
I have to give him credit. He goes into the lion's den and he takes it from all sides, and he gets his school teacher voice and his school teacher demeanor, and he speaks very calmly, and he shuts people down, and he stands his ground. I mean, it's hard not to have some respect for him, because there's a lot of politicians, like Shannon Phillips, for instance, in Alberta, who run for cover at the sign of conflict. So I'm going to give Trudeau some credit for that. Another thing that I think is so vitally important to our economic interests here, especially since he went toe-to-toe, as we just saw, with a representative who sides with the Wet'suwet'en tribal chiefs or hereditary chiefs against the Coastal GasLink pipeline, is that he's not backing down on this. Something has fundamentally changed in the Trudeau government, and I've been watching this for some time, is that even though we think that they don't have enthusiastic commitment to getting our bitumen pipeline built, and I guess it still remains to be seen whether or not TransCanada or Trans Mountain goes ahead, they are committed to getting natural gas built. They are committed to LNG. And we saw this initially with Natural Resources Minister Jim Carr when he first made a statement a few months ago about how natural gas is going to be part of the energy mix that helps us to achieve greenhouse gas emissions goals. Environment Minister Catherine McKenna, I heard her on a radio interview saying very much the same thing. And at this town hall, Justin Trudeau said that natural gas being exported to displace higher emitting fuels in Asia is going to be key to reducing global greenhouse gas emissions. Like, I think that is a statement that can unite people from across the country. It is very prudent. It's very pragmatic. It's also happens to be true. The very best thing that any country can do to genuinely reduce greenhouse gas emissions is to switch to natural gas away from coal. So I think that we've seen, I think that this is genuine. Him standing up and saying, you know what, we're going to fight and we're going to see these built and we're going to use due process, and it's actually good for the environment. I think that this is going to be a continual refrain for the government, and it may just win them some support from the pro-pipeline activists.
Danielle, I can hear some people saying, oh, this is just a lead up to then elections, against your point. But how do you weigh him against the previous Stephen Harper government as far as what is actually being done and balanced between interests of varied Canadians on this issue?
First 3 years, utter failure. But on the issue of natural gas, we're seeing a breakthrough, and that's really important because you're also seeing that with John Horgan. Look, the fact of the matter is that politicians like John Horgan and Justin Trudeau, they aligned themselves with the most extreme aspects of both the Indigenous community and the environmental community to oppose projects. That was their strategy to get elected. Their strategy now to get reelected is to keep those who are centrist, moderates, the so-called manly blue liberals, keep them in the tent. And you're not going to keep them in the tent if you're trying to shut down every aspect of the Canadian economy. So I think, yes, you're quite right. This is an election strategy to get reelected, but isn't it interesting how much has changed in 4 years? 4 years ago, he would have been protesting side by side with the person who was berating him, and today he's saying, no, sorry, we're moving forward in a different direction. I respect your view, but I disagree with it. I think that's a major transformation.
This conversation continues this morning on your show, and Danielle, I think we'll be having this conversation with you for months to come.
Indeed.